With Spectre hitting DVD Blu-ray on Tuesday, I figured why not review it? So that's what I'm doing right now. As you guys can tell, I'm a huge fan of Skyfall. I own the DVD, looking to buy the Blu-ray pretty soon. But Spectre, I saw it opening day in theaters. It was one of my most anticipated films of 2015. I made sure to get tickets ahead of time. I made sure to see it with friends. I was pumped. I had a couple 5-hour energy drinks. Then I kind of watched the film. And that's what I'm here to talk about, obviously. This film follows James Bond as he's in this Day of the Dead parade looking for this other guy. And there's an explosion happens, a lot of mayhem. And it leads him to an organization called Spectre. And the main villain is Blofeld. And he is played by the great Christoph Waltz. Now, I've recently seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut. And Eyes Wide Shut has an organization, a very secretive one, that is intriguing. But the thing with this film is that the organization is never really intriguing. You're just kind of I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. And before I dive into the negatives, I just want to throw this in. The cinematography for this film is immaculate. I loved the way this film looked. It just was so, you could tell that they actually were you know what? This big budget that we have, we're going to put it to good use. So cinematography and production design were excellent. I loved those aspects of the film. But if we're still looking at it from a technical aspect, wow, I was surprised at how lazy Thomas Newman was. Thomas Newman is one of my favorite composers. I have seen pretty much every single film that he's composed, with The Shawshank Redemption being probably my favorite film that he scored. But with this film, he borrows a lot from Skyfall. I know he scored that film, but I hate it when a composer literally just takes themes from his previous film and he doesn't change anything. He literally is you know what? Copy, paste. I hate when they do that. And he did this in this film. It felt lazy, it was lazy, and it showed in the film. It took me out of a lot of scenes. And on top of that, how in the world do you have some of the most elite cast members in this film and yet you don't give them anything? You have Christoph Waltz, one of the best actors working today. And what does he do in this film? I can't even remember what he did in this film. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He just was talking in 2 scenes, and in a 3rd scene, he was in the shadows. That's it. It's not like Skyfall. I hate to be saying Skyfall, but I gotta say, in Skyfall, the villain, you meet him halfway, but from then on, you are intrigued with the stuff he does. With this villain Spectre, you're not intrigued at what he does. You're just kind of okay. You're okay. And on top of that, Daniel Craig looks as if he just woke up and is what do you want me to do? It's just so lazy. This film just reeks of laziness, and I hate to say it because I'm a huge fan of everyone that did this film. The writers, the director, the people that scored the film, the cinematographer. It just really bugs me, especially the directing by Sam Mendes. He literally just took Rogue Nation, the newest Mission Impossible film, and he's okay, copy, paste, because that's just it, guys. This film is a studio film. When I say a studio film, I mean it not in a good way, because fact of the matter is, Rogue Nation and Spectre are pretty much the same exact stories by the same studios. And this happens every year where a studio basically flushes down 2 movies to our throats, and we kind of receive them differently. But the thing is, it has a lot to do with how the film is done. And Rogue Nation, it's not a perfect film, but it is entertaining because you're not watching it and kind of picking it apart, because you're able to enjoy it because there's a lot to enjoy. But with Spectre, there's not a lot to enjoy because the music's bad, the pacing is very slow, and it just it drags. The action in this film isn't intense other than the opening scene, and this film just felt lazy, as I've been kind of emphasizing. And they kind of make the ending not satisfying at all. In fact, the final act felt like something that would come out of Furious 7, unfortunately. And in trying to set up a sequel, the film deflates altogether. So everything that the film was trying to set up, it just didn't work, because it's well, what was the point of this film other than being able to say, we were combining the James Bond of the 1960s with the intensity of the 2000s. It's dude, it's not working. And this film just didn't work for me. And the question is, did it work for you guys? So I'll be giving Spectre 2.5 out of 5-star rating. I would not recommend it other than to be able to say, you've seen all the James Bond films with Daniel Craig, but other than that, it's not worth your time, guys. But let me know your thoughts on Spectre, and if you have any questions, comment down below.